Hey, welcome! Today, we are going to pull back the curtain on the single formula that top consultants use to deconstruct pretty much any problem you can throw at them. Seriously, it's a mental model for cutting through all the noise and getting straight to what's really going on. So let's dive right in.
You've seen this happen, right? At work, maybe even at home. A big new project gets launched, or you put a fix in place for something. But the original problem just doesn't go away. It's stubborn. Why does this happen over and over again? Well, it almost always comes down to one fundamental mistake we all make.
Exactly. We're treating symptoms, not the root cause. It's like putting a little bandage on a leaky pipe instead of actually finding the crack. And when you do that, you get stuck in this super frustrating cycle of fixing the same things again and again because we're just not addressing what's truly broken. But what if there was a formula that could force us to think deeper?
Well, there is. And it's this beautifully simple equation that actually forms the backbone of huge systematic problem-solving methods like Six Sigma. It's a framework that helps you structure your thinking like a seasoned analyst and bring some real, honest-to-goodness clarity to even the most chaotic situations.
Okay, here it is. Y equals f of x. Now I know, it might look like something you forgot from high school algebra, but trust me, it's a really profound way to see the world. Y is your output. That's the final result. What you get. X represents all the inputs. Think of them as the ingredients or materials you start with. And F? That's the function. It's the process, the recipe, the thing you do to turn your inputs, X, into your output, Y.
And this is the most powerful part of the whole thing. If your output, your Y, is not what you want it to be, there are only two places the problem can be hiding. It's either in your procedure, the F, or it's in your inputs, the X. That's it. This simple idea just completely eliminates all the guesswork and immediately focuses your investigation where it needs to be.
Look, an abstract formula is only useful if we can actually apply it, right? So let's ground this whole thing in a simple, everyday story that just brilliantly shows the logic. Imagine you're at your desk, you're feeling totally exhausted, even though you had your usual morning coffee. The problem? Your why is clear. But what's the cause?
So we use the formula and we work backward. Our bad output, our Y, is feeling tired. So we look at our overall procedure F, making breakfast, and that seems fine. So what's next? We check our inputs, our X's. The key input for feeling awake is, of course, the coffee. So now we have to drill down. Let's look at the making coffee process itself. Was the procedure, the F for making coffee, correct? Yeah, it seems so. So we analyze that procedure's inputs, the X's, the machine, the water, the milk, and then, the coffee pod. Bingo, that's the root cause. You accidentally used a decaf pod. The wrong input, X, led directly to the unwanted output, Y. See how that worked?
Now, that simple little coffee investigation, that is exactly how professionals tackle huge, multi-million-dollar business problems. For real. They just use a more formal structure. And in the world of process improvement, that structure is called DMAIC. You can think of it as the official professional playbook for applying that Y equals FX logic.
So DMIAC stands for Define, Measure, Analyze, Improve, and Control. You start by defining the problem you're having with your output, your Y. Then you measure everything, get a baseline for your X's and your Y's. In Analyze, you dig in and find that root cause. Is it an X thing or an F thing? Then you improve the process by changing that faulty input or procedure. And finally, you control it to make sure the problem doesn't creep back in. It's just a direct, logical march from problem to a permanent solution.
Now, as you're analyzing all your inputs, there is a huge trap you have to avoid. It's so easy to fall into, and that is confusing things that just happen to occur together with things that actually cause each other. This is that classic distinction between correlation and causation. And getting this right is what separates just guessing from genuine, powerful analysis.
This slide just lays it out perfectly. Correlation just means two things happen around the same time. Maybe you got startled and you spilled your milk and you dropped an egg. They are related, right? They're correlated by your clumsiness, but the milk didn't cause the egg to drop. Causation, on the other hand, is direct. Dropping the egg causes it to hit the floor and break. When you're problem solving, you have to find the X inputs that truly cause your Y output, not just the ones that are hanging around the scene of the crime.
Okay, let's bring this all together. Understanding this formula, this whole Y equals F of X thing, it isn't just some academic exercise. It's a mental model that will fundamentally change how you approach challenges. It literally moves you from a world of guessing and just hoping for the best to a world of systematic diagnosis where you know you found a right lever to pull.
So here's the cheat sheet, the key takeaways. First, a bad output always comes from a problem with your input X or your procedure F.
sometimes even both. Second, break down those big, complex processes into smaller sub-processes, just like we did with the coffee. Third, find the biggest source of the problem and just focus on that first. And finally, always dig for the ultimate root cause, because one bad input can cascade and create a much, much bigger problem down the line.
So I'll leave you with this question. Think of a persistent frustration you have, maybe at work or in your personal life. A project that's always late or a habit you just can't seem to stick with. Instead of just getting frustrated again, try to frame it differently. Ask yourself, what is the specific output, the why, that I'm unhappy with? And then, what are all the inputs, the X's, and all the procedures, the F's, that I actually have control over? The answer you're looking for is waiting inside that simple, powerful question.